Well, welcome to the Week in Review for Module 6, Week 6. We are almost done. We're definitely in the final stretches of this course. So what are we doing this week? This is a very big module for you. So your big assignment is due, or your second big assignment, probably the majority of your points are now going to be all completely in by the end of this module. So this week you have your move note presentation. That's that presentation that you're making to the board about your suggested plan of action. It may be one or two of those ideas that are in that case study, those various strategies. I know some of you are doing more than one. That's okay, or you can just pick one. That's perfectly fine. Which that was also in your written presentation about this case. So, and then also this week we are finishing up the workbook. So your last evaluation of the workbook, very light this week on a module or chapter 7 and chapter 8 in the workbook. You'll be finishing up that. That's really kind of in those chapters, especially 7, is more of like the final plan. What are the next steps, kind of actionable steps that you would do? One of the things I would emphasize when you look at any kind of career plan, and that's what this whole future-proofing your career workbook is sort of centered around, having you think about other opportunities, threats that might happen to your career, where you want to take it in the future. Hopefully you will or have developed a career plan, but know that this is a cyclic process. This is something that never ends. You're always reevaluating it. The winds change and you're pointing that ship in a different direction. So know that this is a process that never ends. And you may want to think about it as something that you just do annually. Making sure that, where do I want to be in the next 3 years? Maybe that's not where you wanted to be 3 years ago. You've again changed. You know how to identify things that are going on in the environment. Maybe some career paths are evolutionary dead ends. Other ones are starting to open up, and you're going to adapt your career plan to those changing times. So I hope you did get some value out of the future-proofing your career workbook. I know there's a couple pieces in there that I really like to use to remind myself about always kind of charting the next direction for my career. And then I just want to talk a little bit more about the move note presentation. Again, this is your big summative presentation on that case study. Please look at the tutorials. Please do a practice move note before you shoot the real one. Make sure that your lighting looks good, your sound looks good, your PowerPoints look okay. You know how to use the move note, where to click to make it work, where to click to pause it. Do not try to figure this out when you shoot your real one. So do a practice one. It'll save you a lot of strife, trust me, because there's nothing like going through a whole presentation and then realizing your microphone was off. So do practice ahead of time. Don't read to us, but rehearse. Make sure that you know the contents of what you want to say. You can have little sheets around your camera like I do right now. That's okay. But do not sit there and read us your report from this that you're reading, and I suggest that we go with the bariatric market because blah, blah, blah. Don't do that. Make sure that you are presenting to us, maintaining eye contact. We just got done. I teach another capstone course for healthcare administration, and they got done with some move notes, and some of the things, they turned out very well because they did have a practice session ahead of time. Unfortunately, you folks, the way this was structured, didn't do one as a graded requirement, so they actually had an extra assignment in there. That's why I want to emphasize, do run a quick little practice one. No one's going to see it. Make sure that some basics like what the lighting and the camera angle looks good, that the camera isn't jiggling. One of the things that we saw in some of the move notes is that to advance the slides, the students had brought their laptop camera, so it was at eye level. You don't want the up the nose shot, because really when your laptop is sitting down and your camera is looking up, we are looking right up your nose. So do bring your camera at least to eye level by putting your laptop on some books. Have plenty of lights behind the camera. I've got 2 here. I could probably even use a 3rd one without giving myself, well, at that point I get a major headache. But I got 2 here. I actually got 1 back here and another one you don't even see sitting over there, kind of blasting me with light. It will feel like you're being blasted with light if you do it correctly, because these cameras need a ton of light to make them look decent. Again, make sure your sound looks good. But what the students were doing to advance the slides in the Move Note is they were reaching towards their laptop and hitting the arrow keys, which caused the laptop to jiggle every time they hit it like that. And it was like an earthquake that was going on. So what I would suggest is that you use a mouse, get an old-fashioned, everybody's got one laying around, usually some, use an old-fashioned mouse, have that set up so you can click that on the advanced keys for your slide rather than touching this and getting the camera shake. So look for that. Rule of thumb is we want no distractions. Nothing that distracts us from your presentation. Professional dress, nothing crazy in the background. Again, good lighting, good sound. Look at the tutorials. Those will guide you through all of the basics to have a decent presentation. And then, of course, address the content that is required. What I've done is I basically given you, here are your slides. Now, you can title the slides differently if you wish, but the content on those slides should be as laid out in the assignment. Also, there's a grading rubric on there as well, so you can see how the points drop down for this assignment. It is a 200-point assignment. 175 points I will be responsible for grading you. Your peers will give you the other 25 points. So there is a small component of peer evaluation, but nonetheless significant component within this assignment. So again, make sure you are doing good. This is kind of your crowning presentation here at the college. Now, if you are having any technical difficulties, please notify me before Friday. This weekend, my communication contact will be limited, and then the following week, well, of course, your assignment will be submitted by then. But the following week, I'm actually going to be out of the country, but I still will have internet access for about 1 to 2 hours a day. So I'll still be in the class and interacting with you guys and talking to you. So, but problem solving might be a little difficult, but you should have all that done by this week. So again, please try to have all that done by Friday, especially the technical issues, have that done by this Friday. All right, so excellent. Busy week this week, and any problems, please let me know. You know how to get a hold of me, all kinds of ways, including text messaging. So excellent. Well, as always, have a great week, and thank you for watching.